Do you break out in a cold sweat every time someone mentions budgeting? What if I told you that budgeting could actually help you spend more money on the stuff you love? This video is going to show you exactly how to budget without the spreadsheet nightmares and do just that. Here's the thing about budgets. They're not about restriction, they're about permission. When you know exactly where your money needs to go, you can spend the rest guilt-free. I used to feel bad every time I bought coffee or went out with friends. I'd literally do mental math at the register like, okay, that's $6. I've already spent $40 this week. It was exhausting. Now, I spend way more on that stuff, but I don't feel guilty because I know I can afford it. That's what a good budget does. Okay, here's the only budget you'll ever need. Forget complicated spreadsheets. I'm going to give you literally the only system you need, the 50-30-20 rule. You have probably heard of it. But here's what most people don't know. This rule isn't just random. It's actually based on decades of research by Senator Elizabeth Warren when she was still a bankruptcy professor at Harvard. She studied thousands of families who went broke and found that the ones who survived financial crises had this exact spending pattern. Here's how it works. 50% for stuff you need, rent, groceries, phone bill. 30% for stuff you want, restaurants, hobbies, shopping. 20% for savings and debt. That's it. You're done. Let's do the math with real numbers. Say your take-home pay is $5,000 a month, $2,500 for needs, $1,500 for wants, $1,000 for savings, debt. So why does this work when other budgets fail? It's flexible. Having a bad month and need to spend more on groceries? Fine. Just spend less on wants. Got a bonus and want to blow some money? Cool. Just make sure your needs and savings are covered first. My friend Sarah's car needed new tires last month. Totally unplanned $600 expense. Instead of panicking, she just moved some money from her wants category to needs. She skipped a few dinners out, but she didn't touch her savings or stress about it. So what counts as a need versus a want? This trips people up all the time. Here's my test. If you stopped paying for it, would you lose your housing, job, or impact your health? If yes, it's a need. If no, it's a want. Netflix? Want your internet if you work from home? Need. That fancy gym membership? Want basic health insurance? Need. But wait, what if your numbers don't work out? Look, if your needs are more than 50%, don't panic. You've got three options. Make more money, lower your needs, or temporarily adjust the ratios to maybe 60-25-15. When I first started, my needs were eating up 60% of my income. I was super stressed about it until I realized, okay, so I'll do 60-25-15 for now. I got a roommate 6 months later, which brought my housing costs way down, and then I could do the standard 50-30-20. Don't stress about being perfect right away. The point is awareness, not perfection. Here's what actually made this system work for me. I have 3 checking accounts: needs, wants, savings. My paycheck gets split automatically between them. When my wants account is empty, I'm done spending on fun stuff for the month. No willpower required, no guilt. I remember the first time this saved me from myself. I was scrolling online and saw these shoes I wanted for $200. Went to buy them, checked my wants account. Only $120 left. Instead of using my debit card and messing up my whole budget, I just didn't buy them. The system worked without me having to be disciplined. Did you know most banks let you set up automatic transfers for free? You can literally set this up in 10 minutes online. Some people even use different banks entirely. Checking account at one bank, savings at another. Makes it even harder to accidentally spend your savings. Now, how do you track this without losing your mind? Don't track every single penny. You'll burn out in 2 weeks. Just check in once a week. Look at your accounts, see how you're doing, and make small adjustments. Use your bank's app or a simple tracker. The goal is awareness, not becoming an accountant. And here's something interesting. Studies show people who check their bank balance weekly spend 15% less than people who never check. It's not about obsessing, it's just about staying connected to your money. Now for the maintenance part, and this one's crucial. Once a month, spend 15 minutes reviewing your spending. Not to beat yourself up, but to see what worked. My roommate does this the first Sunday of every month with coffee. Last month, she discovered she spent $280 on takeout but only $200 on groceries. She's not judging herself, just noticing. Maybe she can meal prep more this month. Think of it like checking your car's oil. Here's what to look for during your monthly review. Are you consistently overspending in one category? Maybe you need to adjust your percentages. Are you underspending on wants? Maybe you're being too restrictive. The budget should work for your actual life, not some perfect version of yourself. Special situation alert. When life happens, your budget's gonna get messed up sometimes. Cars break down, surprise medical bill, your friend's wedding in another state. That's not failure, that's life. The key is getting back on track next month, not giving up completely. Here's a money mindset shift that changed everything for me. Bad money months aren't moral failures. They're just data. Like if you go over budget 3 months in a row in the same category, that's not you being bad with money. That's your budget being unrealistic for your actual life. And if you're freelancing, listen up. Use your worst month as your baseline budget. When you make more, that extra goes to savings or debt payoff. My cousin learned this the hard way when she was freelancing. She'd make $8,000 one month and budget like that was normal, then make $3,000 the next month and totally panic. Now she budgets based on that $3,000 month, and the extra from good months goes straight to her emergency fund. Here's the freelancer hack. Create what I call a smoothing account. When you have a good month, put the extra in this account. When you have a bad month, use it to top up your regular budget. It's like creating your own steady paycheck. Another tip on how to use the psychology of money to your advantage. Your brain is wired to see money as infinite when it's just numbers on a screen, but finite when it's physical cash. That's why the envelope method used to work so well. The separate accounts thing mimics that. When your wants account shows $50, your brain actually processes that as, I have $50 for fun, not, I have access to all my money. Listen, you're probably going to overspend your first few months. That's totally normal. You're learning. The budget police aren't going to come arrest you. So this week's mission, figure out your 50-30-20 breakdown, try separate accounts, look at last month's spending, don't judge, just notice, and schedule your monthly money date. So now you're saving automatically and you have a budget that makes sense. Next up, making your money actually grow instead of just sitting there doing nothing. We're talking investing, and I promise it's way less scary than you think. So there you have it. Budgeting that doesn't suck. Remember, budgets give you permission to spend, not restrictions. You're crushing this. Next week we're diving into investing. Hit subscribe and I'll see you then.